Wall.
Present.
Trustee Windless. Trustee Nasir.
All right, and you are here, Trustee Wallace,
I'm here.
Trustee Nasser is absent, and we have a quorum. Because we have now adopted a practice of just paying respect to those who we've lost in our community, who may be in grief, and we just had our Veterans Day, so if we could all bow our heads in a moment of silence for that. Thank you. Thank you all. Adoption of the agenda. Before I can seek a motion to adopt the agenda, I noticed a change that I would like for the board to be aware of. And item I, that should read Citizens Advisory Committee Liaison to the Board of Education appointment. Again, for agenda item letter I would like for that to read as Citizens Advisory Committee Liaison to the Board of Education appointment. And that is all that I have. Be it resolved that the Board of Education accepts the November 15th, 2023 agenda as presented. A board member may request an item or items be moved from the consent agenda to superintendent's recommendation. Is there a motion?
So moved.
So moved by Vice President Walls. Your support? Support. Supported by Treasurer Sterlini. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Wall.
Yes.
Trustee Windless, yes. Trustee Sterlini.
Yes.
Trustee Dyer.
Yes.
Trustee Beltowski.
Yes.
Trustee Gator.
Yes. We have a quorum. On to public comment on agenda items only. Again, good evening to you all. We welcome you. Are there any public comments on agenda items only? Again, any public comment on agenda items only? Last call, any public comment on agenda items only? Hearing and seeing none. Thank you. On to superintendent's reports. Letter A, grades 6 through 12, math instructional resource pilot presentation, illustrative mathematics by Dr. Kelly Finney. Good evening. Push your button.
Hello.
Yep, you got it.
Good evening, board. Tonight I'm going to present the math curriculum review presentation. This school year, the secondary teachers, meaning teachers in middle school and high school, participated in a math curriculum review. And the purpose is to advance the quality of the curriculum and instruction in D7, as well as to promote excellence in student performance using the best possible instructional strategies, curricula, and material. And what led us to this curriculum review was when we took a look at our data over the past couple of years in the area of math. And as you can see, in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, based upon our PSAT scores, our students are not proficient, their proficiency levels are low in all 3 of the grade levels, with basically less than 10% of our students proficient in math in 6th, 7th, and 8th grades. When we look at our high school 9th grade, we will see that we have less than 17% of our students that are meeting the college benchmark standards. In 10th grade, we have less than 10% reaching our college grade level benchmarks. And then in our 11th grade, we have less than 15% reaching our grade level benchmark assessment standards. So one of the things that we know is that a guaranteed viable curriculum is what research shows will help improve students' achievement. And what that means, guaranteed means that every student that's in a particular course or grade level will be exposed to the same rigorous curriculum regardless of the teacher that they are assigned to. So what teachers teach is different from one class to the next. The curriculum is not guaranteed. When we talk about a valuable curriculum, we mean that teaching the curriculum and covering the curriculum are 2 very different things. So while teachers can cover a lot of content, to teach the curriculum requires students to learn what teachers teach. And so one of the things that we've realized is that sometimes we're trying to teach all content standards, then there's not enough time in a school year to teach all the standards. And so we have to make sure that we identify those essential standards so that our teachers can really focus on going into depth in what they feel that students need to know. So what I want to do right now is take you through the curriculum review process. And the goal of curriculum review is to develop clear, consistent, coherent, and articulated curriculum that's implemented uniformly, meaning across the board, and equitable across all schools. And that's why we're doing this at the secondary level, to make sure that all the sixth grade teachers are teaching the same curriculum, 7th and 8th, and that we're all building upon vertically what was learned in the previous school year. So I gave you a handout of the curriculum review cycle that we are going to be utilizing, and it is a 6-year process. And right now we are in the preparation year, where we are looking at the selection of instructional resources. And then after we select our resources, we have to have the purchase of the instructional resource approved, get the teachers training, and then actually follow the implementation plan. And so the following columns show you what will happen in the following 6 years. And this is going to be a process that we do not only with math, but ELA, science, social studies, and the elective. So it will be an ongoing process. So the Math Instructional Review Committee was made up, as I mentioned, of middle and high school teachers, and they were invited to become a part of this process. The teachers were provided access to 4 math instructional resources that were vetted by an external organization that's called Ed Reports, to review over a period of 2 weeks. So we had 4 different publishing companies provide us with access to their curricula, and the teacher were able to go in and actually survey the website to find out if this is something that will be feasible for D7 students. And then after the teachers had the opportunity to preview the curriculum, we then invited those vendors in, and vendors were provided the time to give an overview of their curricular resource. After the vendors gave their presentations, teachers then had another opportunity to review and try out the curriculum. And after the 3 weeks was over, we had a rubric that teachers used to actually rate various aspects of the curriculum, and the resource that scored the highest was selected to be piloted second semester of this school year. So these are the 4 instructional resources that we reviewed: Agile Mind, Envision Math, Illustrative Math, and CPM. So Illustrative Math was the curriculum that the teachers favored the most. So these are the next steps for our curriculum review process. We need to provide the teachers with professional development for the pilot resource that we've selected. We are planning to pilot the resource between January and March, and I'm going to meet with the pilot team of teachers to decide what do they actually want to pilot. Do they want to pilot a whole unit? Do they want to pilot a whole month? So they're going to determine how they want the pilot to look so that they can make sure that they obtain enough information to make an informed decision about the resource. And then also, not only do we want feedback from the teachers, we want feedback from the students. So we will be surveying the students that have utilized the curriculum to get their thoughts on what they feel about the curriculum. And then also the parents. The parents are also an integral part of this process. And then between April and May, we would like to present our recommendation to the school. So with that said, we now have a representative from Illustrative Math who is going to give us an overview of the program.
To the board, can everyone see the screen? Is it the one above? LGTB.
I can hear you.
Oh, it's getting better.
It was just as loud.
Kelly, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
There's an echo.
Oh, great. Okay.
We don't have any, we can't see, what's going on, so just let us know whenever you're ready for us to start.
Okay, Marty, you down there.
I'm going to start by introducing myself. My name is Sarah Shepherd, and I am the Well Sales Consultant here at Kendall Hunt. And I have Marty Frank with us today. She's the curriculum specialist, and she is going to go ahead and dive into the curriculum. Go ahead, Marty.
Great, thank you, Sarah. As she said, I'm Marty Frank, I'm a curriculum specialist at Kendall Hunt. I am a former math teacher. I've taught elementary, middle school, and high school. We appreciate you having us in today to talk to you about Kendall Hunt's Illustrative Math program. To give you a little background, we partnered with Illustrative Math to become the only provider of free IM
Pardon me, Ms. Frank.
curriculum. So that all of the content, the resources, and the materials for this program are free.
Hold on, 1 minute, we have an echo, we're trying to fix our sound.
It may be suggested that the other
You have the
speaker
echo now,
is.
just muted.
Do a test.
Hey, Marty, Sarah, can you fix yourself? We're gonna get it, you all.
All right, does that help?
Thanks, yeah.
Okay.
All right, great. Right, so know that all the content, resources, and materials for this program are created and certified by Illustrative Math. Kindle Hunt is the publishing company that provides all of our free classes, our free website. In addition to the free website, they also sell print versions of the curriculum, disability and certified professional learners. We talked about one of those things in the presentation today.
Sorry, Dr. Finney, if you could let Ms. Frank know we still hear the feedback.
Still here to speak,
It may have been us, Dr. Finney.
oh, maybe us.
Maybe, we're turning our mics off now. Back in, way to go. Push it back, yep. Maybe Ms. Nadia's too? Okay, thank you. Okay, round 8.
Try it again, you ready? Okay, Marty, let's try it one more time.
Try it again. So I am really gifted in a math class. They're really going to be engaged in the mathematics program. This is a problem we teach are really going to learn the math and solve problems today. And these activities are going to be actively involved in problem solving, using and making sense of mathematics. So I am just going to be consistent lesson structure problem solving. on a multi-teacher level program.
You said we had 4 speakers?
No, I don't know how many teachers you all have having in your learning.
Dr. Penny, do you want to switch this screen to TV mode?
So which grade,
This one's TV. Leslie, can you explain?
Under the mute options,
Which is to the LG.
you push the arrow, you push the TV as a speaker instead of the laptop.
TV is.
It's not selected.
Could you hover over?
Are you sure it was selected?
That was a good idea.
and she, Sue had your volume up there, correct?
So that it's turned on.
We'll give it another minute or two, and then we'll give you guys some time to get together and we may take. Our mics are off.
What's your,
But it did here, it goes through.
That's
yeah,
true.
so,
Is yours on YouTube? Like your actual
we can hear ourselves, that's the problem, we can hear ourselves through the TV.
That's 1, 2.
Testing, testing.
But you can hear them talking.
Yes, we can.
Is your laptop on mute?
Nobody else is in the meeting. So if it is okay with the board, we'll table this, to the end of our agenda, just to give us some time to get the audio here. Okay? We'll wait for Mark to come back. We'll table it.
Okay. Our mic's back on.
No, not yet. We'll wait for Mike to turn our mic
Mike,
back
can you turn our
on.
mics back on?
Yeah, did that help at all?
It did.
Whatever.
Mark, stay right there, don't move.
Stand on the leg.
That's all right.
It's TV late in my head.
Okay, so we won't table it. Maybe we should start from the beginning.
Okay, we are like, perfect. So we can start from the beginning, Martin, thank you so much for your patience.
All right. So thanks for having us in today to talk to you about Kendall Hunt's illustrative math program. Just to do a little background, Kendall Hunt partnered with Illustrative Math to become the only provider of the free IM certified digital math curriculum. So know that all the content, the resources, and the materials for this program were written, created, and certified by Illustrative Math. And Kendall Hunt is the publishing company that provides it all to you on a free website. In addition to the free website, we also sell free versions of the curriculum, manipulative kits, and IM certified professional learning. We'll take a look at all of that as we go through the presentation today. So IM believes that in a math class, students should not just learn about math, they should actually be doing math. So in other words, they're really going to be engaging in those mathematical practices. This is a problem-based curriculum where students are going to learn the math through solving problems in activities. In these activities, they're going to be actively involved in problem-solving, reasoning, and making sense of mathematics. IM does have a consistent lesson structure across all grade levels from kindergarten through Algebra 2. In the 6-12 program, each lesson consists of a warm-up, typically 1 to 3 activities with an activity synthesis. After all the activities, there is a lesson synthesis, and then each lesson ends with a cool down. Take a look at each part of a lesson. So every lesson is going to begin with a warm-up. It's going to take about 10 minutes or less to complete. It's really designed to invite the students to get ready for that day's lesson. It's also going to give them an opportunity to strengthen their number sense or procedural fluency. After the warm-up, you're typically going to have 1 to 3 classroom activities. And these are really the heart of the mathematical experience and where teachers are going to spend the bulk of your class time. We know that students learn best and retain what they learn better by actively doing math and solving problems. The activities in this program do exactly that. They're really going to get students actively involved in those problem-solving processes. And each activity has a low floor and a high ceiling. So low floor meaning it's accessible to every student, no matter what level they're at. And then a high ceiling means that even our most advanced students can extend these to as high level as is appropriate for them. After each activity, you're going to find an activity synthesis. This just allows students to summarize and solidify the math that they learned in each activity. For a teacher, they can use it kind of as an informal formative assessment. It's a great way to check and make sure the students understood the math that they should have learned in each particular lesson, or each particular activity, sorry. After all the activities, you're going to find a lesson synthesis. This is where the teacher is going to take about 5 or 10 minutes to summarize the day's activities and clarify the mathematical ideas. This will be time for them to do a little direct instruction, and it will allow students time to synthesize what they learned and really prepare to do the cool down independently. The cool down is the final part of the lesson structure. It's kind of an exit ticket. It's a formative assessment to assess the student's understanding of the entire lesson. Students are meant to work on it for about 5 minutes independently and then turn it into the teacher. And we do provide guidance notes so the teachers can use the student responses to make adjustments to further instruction. We also have practice after every single lesson. And here you're going to find some problems that practice what they learned in each lesson. And also there's a built-in spiral review. I do want to mention the assessments because they're an important part of any curriculum. IM does offer both formative and summative assessments. So every lesson has the formative assessment with the cool down built into it. Every unit is going to begin with a check your readiness diagnostic assessment to check and make sure the students have the prerequisite skills they need in order to be successful in that unit. Every unit is also going to end with an end of unit summative assessment. It assesses everything they learned throughout the entire unit. So that's really the content. We do provide everything free on our website. We do offer both digital and print with this program. So the first way you can get everything is through our website, im.kindlehunt.com. Like I mentioned, we are the only IM certified provider of the free digital content, and this is where you can get it. We also provide common cartridge files for Schoology, Canvas, and Google Classroom for free as well. Just want to jump on the website so you can see what we do have on here. When you open it up, you'll see you have access to the elementary, middle school, and high school content. Just going to open it up because it is consistent across all grade levels. For the students, there is a student site. This is where students will access their resources in English and also in Spanish for middle school, Algebra 1 and Algebra 1 supports. We also have a site for families. This is where families can access their resources. It will include a letter home that explains problem-based curriculum, and then for every single unit, it will explain the math that's being taught with the try-at-home problem. This is available in English and Spanish for the middle school and English only for high school. And then you have the site for educators. This is where teachers are going to get their resources. And below that is the teacher's guide that explains everything that happens with the program. So again, teachers, students, and families can access everything on this website. We also offer print. We know that students learn best by actively doing math and solving problems, but it's also important for them to record their work as they do it. That's why we offer the print. All of our print is in full color and the student editions are consumable. For middle school and high school, each student would get 3 workbooks, 2 to 3 units in each book. The teacher's edition is similar. It's going to be spiral bound, 3 books with 2 to 3 units in each book. We also sell manipulative kits at each grade level as well. In addition to the English print, we also sell the Spanish editions for grades 6, 7, 8, Algebra 1, and Algebra 1 supports. Last but certainly not least, IM Certified Professional Learning is available to purchase through us. IM has a very large catalog of PL offerings to make sure that your teachers get everything they need and want to make it a successful adoption. This is something that Sarah will work with y'all to make sure you decide which offerings are right for you and also to come up with a PL plan. We do offer training for teachers, coaches, and administrators. Anything you could possibly want from pilot training to implementation training to anything you might need throughout the entire life of the adoption. All of the PL is delivered by IM certified facilitators. We really appreciate you having us in today. Again, we would love to partner with you to bring Kindle Hunt's illustrative math program into your schools. And we do appreciate your time this evening.
Mike, are you around?
Kelly, do y'all have any questions?
Yes, to the Board of Education, and again, thank you, Marty, thank you, Sarah, for being here to present this program to us. I'll now open it up to the board for any questions. Trustee Bilkowski.
I have a question about print and materials.
I'm sorry to interrupt. We really can't hear what is being said.
Okay, and we may just
You'll
have to
need
wait
to come
for Mike.
closer to the computer.
Or Kelly, you can facilitate the questions as they're being asked if you'd like.
Let's try again.
Can you hear me, Marty?
Yeah, I can hear you, Kelly.
Okay,
So the question is, the manipulative kits, they are not part of they're not part of the curriculum. We buy the print and the online assessments, the manipulative kits are sold separately.
Correct. The online is free. You would purchase the print if you want it, and also the manipulative kits if you want them. And we always say to teachers, take a look at the kits, see if it's stuff you already have in your classroom. If it is, you don't need to purchase them. A lot of schools will purchase them because they want all teachers to start out with everything they need.
And I'm happy to provide the itemized kit list so that you can see what is included in all of those kits.
Thank you.
okay. The board, our mics are back on. Are there any other questions from the board? Secretary Williams, you want to go? Okay.
What's the correlation between your product and the MSTEP and the PSAT? What are the success rates from when you implement this program to the test scores going up?
Couldn't hear that one.
Mike, probably.
Hello? What is the, can you hear me, Marty?
No, gotta get it through the laptop.
It's a little
Can you hear me,
hard.
Marty?
Yes.
Okay. What is the correlation between your product and students' success on standardized assessments?
Great thing about this program, the problem-based curriculum, is it really doesn't teach you any test. It prepares your students to take all of the tests. It really does give your students a much deeper conceptual understanding than in a traditional program with that problem-based curriculum or the problem-based design. So it will prepare your students for state testing, for SATs, ACTs, anything that might come that way or come their way. IM is working on getting the research and the testing. So we don't have any hard data on that. It's something that's really hard to come by these days with student privacy. But I know that's something they're working on. But know that we have, this is a very widely used program. And if you are interested, we can give you references in your area, because we do have a lot of schools in Michigan who are using it.
Yeah, me too. And the references in the itemized list as well. Okay. Yes. Will that be it, Secretary? All right, Vice President Wall?
So I have two questions. Excuse me. First question is, how long has your program been in effect?
How long has this program been around? The 6 through 12 has been around since, Sarah, 2019? When we looked,
Copyright is, I think you might be right about that.
it's been around for several years. I believe 2019.
Okay.
18 or 19? 19, okay.
And then my second question was, and I don't know, this might be something that Dr. Finney might be able to answer though. The PSAT and the M-STEPS, I know you gave us the data. Does that mean it's not on any website of where it can be pulled up publicly on schools?
You can, but they would have to know which schools, they would have to correlate which schools are using it to those scores. And then also we would take into account that there's a lot of factors that may differ from district to district. So we would have to have a larger picture, not only just saying that school uses illustrative, so that illustrative cause their scores to go. It could be other things as well. So it's kind of hard to make that hard determination that this curriculum did this, because teachers are different in different districts. The amount of professional development could be different. The amount of time that they've had to, years of experience. So there's a lot of factors that can come into play.
So then I guess my next question would be, if we did, if this is something we're going with, then would we not be able to really compare the next PSAT with this being used versus not being used? Because
yes, we can do it internally because that's the one thing that's consistent.
But they're not able to do that through the schools they've worked with to find out if there's been any, kind of proven success?
Marty, did you hear that?
No, we can't hear the question.
Okay. So the question is, are you able to compare the results of schools that took a standardized test before and after they started using your curriculum?
Now, I will tell you, for a publishing company to get that data from a school or a school district is nearly impossible. We do not have that data, but we would be happy to put you in touch with other schools in Michigan, and they would be more likely to share that information with you.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions from the board? Mark, and then we'll circle with you.
My questions are for Dr. Finney. Should I ask those now?
Dr. Finney? Yes, we're ready.
Okay. That it was answered. How many math teachers do we have in 6th through 12th grade?
12.
12. So of the 6 teachers that will be doing the pilot program, how many of them did not choose this curriculum?
They all chose it.
So all 12 teachers chose this curriculum?
Yes.
Thank you. And then can I ask one more question? Why does it take so long for curriculum review? Why is it 6 years?
Oh, when you look at the individual implementation stages, there's different things that go on in each phase. So phase 1 next year will be just working on the lesson plans, assessments, and rubrics. Then year 2 is we're making sure now that the teachers have gotten trained that there's consistent and intentional use of the written curriculum, because it's going to take time for teachers to get accustomed to the curriculum. Then year 3, we're going to make sure there's widespread cohesion of instruction across the district. So each year you're focusing on something else.
I see it now.
Okay.
It was really small on here. I guess my question is it going to take us 6 years to see if this curriculum works?
Oh, no.
Okay.
No, the curriculum review process just takes that long, but no.
Okay, thank you.
So and I'm sorry to jump in, to Trustee Belkowski's point, because that was a similar question that I had too. By the end of this pilot, which you said until, we should be able to see if it's like a benefit to our students?
The pilot will just be for a unit, whatever the pilot teachers select, and then they will say whether this is something that they would like to implement in classrooms. And then next year will be the full implementation of the curriculum.
Okay.
So right now, we're just testing it out to see if this is something we like before we invest in.
I see.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yep.
I had one more question. So looking at this, teachers will adhere to the curriculum. So there is teacher training, ongoing teacher training. So new teachers, how would they be brought into this curriculum? They be trained from the beginning, or?
That will be the goal, yes. Even now with the current curriculum.
Thank you.
All right. Anything else from the board? To Mark? Oh, sorry, Althea.
Are we proficient in the K-5 for math?
Our proficiency is low, and right now for math, in K-5, they are using everyday math. So I've been working with them as well, because we may be piloting something with them next fall. But right now we want to find out if the support that we're getting from RISA is going to help us in the implementation of that curriculum, because teachers are struggling with the implementation of the actual curriculum. They don't like how it's organized. And so RISA has done some restructuring of the curriculum, and they're working to support us in helping teachers to implement the curriculum based on what the adaptations that they have done to the curriculum. So we're waiting until the end of this year to see if what RISA has done has helped teachers be able to implement the curriculum, and then if not, then next year we'll do a pilot for K-5.
Okay, and when you do the pilot for K-5, this will be one of the options?
It'll be an option, but they don't necessarily have to go with this program, but ideally we would like it to be so that when students start, as you can see, there's a framework that the curriculum uses, so students will become accustomed to that same framework as they progress through their.
Yeah, that's what I was hopefully trying to get to, is that they would be doing
Consistency.
the same thing for middle school, and so why not do K-5?
That will be their option, yes.
Yeah, I just have one more question. So if you're going to have about 6 teachers that would be participating in the pilot, that would be for all the students in those teachers' classes, correct?
Yes.
So my only question is, the teachers themselves should be able to, at the end of the school season, be able to say, yes, there has been a noted improvement, because I guess you're not going to be able to do it for the whole PSAT or the MSTEP because not every student has it. But those teachers themselves should be able to give some type of significance of whether it's helped.
It'll depend on how long they pilot it. They're only piloting for a unit for 4 weeks, and they're only piloting for a particular topic. So, say for instance, it's a topic on, statistics. If that statistics unit is only 4 weeks, that doesn't represent all of the math content that students learn in a school year, if that makes sense.
Okay, so the pilot's only going to be for a certain part. It's not going to be for the whole school season for those 6 teachers or anything like that.
Correct. It's just going to be for whatever they want, whatever unit they would like to pilot next semester.
Okay, thank you.
To Mark.
So my question is to the presenters. So when looking at this program, the big push in public education, teaching and learning, is this whole issue of talk moves, right? Of teachers engaging students in the curriculum and implementing talk moves. And as I look at all of your data, it talks about student collaboration, listen, respond, and value each other's thinking. So is that like a strong component of the professional development piece to this?
Can you translate all of that, Dr. Petty?
Yeah, just ask about talk.
Marty, can you hear me?
I can hear you, but I could not hear the whole question.
Okay, so we're asking about talk moves. Can you tell us how talk moves are utilized in your program and how teachers are trained on talk moves in math?
Every day and every lesson. Problem-based design is really having the students working in groups, individually, and as a whole class in different activities. They're constantly talking about math, discussing math, writing about math, really having those deep discussions about the mathematics. And that's how this program works. It is taught through instructional routines. One of them is math talk or algebra talk. There are also other routines that are used consistently throughout the program. It is done every day and every lesson. That really is the design of this program. So students are going to first learn what the format and the activities, and then at the end of the lesson is when the teacher does a little more direct instruction, when they summarize and clarify the mathematical ideas. So that is the key component of this program.
Thank you.
Okay. Vice President Wall has one more question, and then
One more question.
And this is probably for Dr. Finney. Is for the pilot, like you said, it might be like for a little 4-week thing. Do the teachers have, like the ones that are piloting, do they have a limit? So you can give us data so whether or not did a teacher use it all year or did they only use it 4 weeks? You could let us know that.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
all right. believe that is it. Thank you, Dr. Finney. Again, thank you, Marty and Sarah, for presenting this information to us. I would suspect that we may see this on an upcoming agenda to put it to the vote by the board. Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you, Marty. Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you all so much. We appreciate your time.
Yep, have a good
Thanks
evening.
for having us.
You're welcome. Okay, while they get that shut down, we'll continue. Yep. All right, we are on to letter A under superintendent's recommendations. Non-certified staff appointment, exhibit number 1 in your packets. Be resolved that the Board of Education accepts the following non-certified staff appointment. Name, Anthony Royal, Anthony Royal. Position, paraprofessional at OW Best. Effective date, October 30th, 2023. Is there a motion?
So moved.
So moved by Secretary Winless. Is there support? Support. Supported by Treasurer Sterlini. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Sterlini?
Yes.
Trustee Wall?
Yes.
Trustee Willis? Yes. Trustee Dyroff?
Yes.
Trustee Batowski?
Yes.
Trustee Gator?
Yes, motion carries, and we welcome you, Mr. Royale, to our district. On to letter B, certified staff appointments, exhibit number 2 in your packets. Be resolved that the Board of Education accepts the following certified staff appointment. Suha Al Malawi, and I apologize if I'm mispronouncing that, but I'll spell it. SUHAALMAULAWI. Position, English learner teacher at Annapolis High School. Effective date, November 13th, 2023. Is there a motion?
So moved.
So moved by Secretary Winless. Any support?
Support.
Supported by Trustee Beltowski. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Wall?
Yes.
Trustee Sterlini?
Yes.
Trustee Willis? Yes. Trustee Dyroff?
Yes.
Trustee Batowski?
Yes.
Trustee Gator?
Yes, motion carries. And to, I believe, Suha El Malawi. Again, I apologize. We welcome you to our district. Letter C, PEA Group, Bedford Elementary School Site Survey, exhibit number 3 in your packet. Be resolved that the Board of Education approves the PEA Group proposal for 12. Is there a motion?
So moved.
So moved by Vice President Wall. Any support? Or supported by Treasurer Sterlini. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Willis? Yes. Trustee Wall?
Yes.
Trustee Batowski?
Yes.
Trustee Sterlini?
Yes.
Trustee Dyroff?
Yes.
Trustee Gator?
Yes, motion carries. Letter D, Annapolis High School instrumental/vocal music field trip to Cedar Point, exhibit number 4 in your packet. Be resolved that the Board of Education approves the Annapolis High School's instrumental and vocal music students field trip to Cedar Point, Sandusky, Ohio, on May 18th, 2024. Is there a motion?
So moved.
So moved by Secretary Winless. Any support? Support. Supported by Trustee Beltowski. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Willis? Yes. Trustee Wall?
Yes.
Trustee Dyroff?
Yes.
Trustee Sterlini?
Yes.
Trustee Batowski?
Yes.
Trustee Gator?
Yes, motion carries. Letter E, purchase of OW Best Wrestling Mat, exhibit number 5 in your packet. Be resolved that the Board of Education approves the purchase of a new wrestling mat for OW Best Middle School. The cost of the mat from EX Flex is $10,969.20. I am requesting the expense of $5,484.60 to come from general funds. OW Best PTO has graciously offered to donate $5,484.60 to offset the purchase. Is there a motion?
So moved.
So moved by Vice President Wall. Any support?
Supported.
Supported by Secretary Winless. Any discussion?
Yes.
Yes, you're now.
I had reached out to the administration to see if this cost could be fully covered by the district. And so I was wondering if we could amend the motion to have the cost fully come out of the general fund.
Okay, so thank you for that, and I will give it up to the board. We're still in discussion. Discussion about this in general, or discussion about it coming solely from general fund. Trustee Beltowski.
I have a question first. So the cost of the mat from EX Flex, who went out and priced these mats, and is this the best price?
I'll defer to Mark.
Yes, Mr. Reamer, our acting athletic director, did this work.
Okay, and may I ask why the PTO was going to deplete their funds so much to donate this?
They just wanted to get it done.
I'll defer to Mark.
Yeah, so they offered to assist with this purchase. I did inquire in regards to a request that I had about the school district and if we had dollars in general fund, and they indicate, our business manager indicated we did have dollars to cover this purchase, and the request came through because the PTO also wants to purchase game chairs, which are quite expensive, and so you know, if we choose to move forward with this and they choose to purchase that, that certainly would benefit the district as well.
Thank you.
All right. Any other discussion from the board? Yeah, go right ahead.
I'm fine with all of us covering from the general fund. That's fine.
Okay. I would like the same. Like
Same.
President Wall. Okay, thank you for that. You've already stated.
Yeah, I'll amend my support.
Yeah, but allow me to hear from Vice President Wall.
No, I was apologize. Mark, what type of chairs did they want to get? I'm sorry, Mr. Kleinhans.
Yes, they're called I think they're called game day chairs. They have the padding on them. I think we use them at the high school. And so they are a little bit more expensive than just a folding chair that our athletes would sit on during the events for athletic events in the gym. So,
Okay.
yeah, I think they call them game day chairs, but I'm not for sure.
Okay. So what would be,
I'm in support for us covering.
okay, and I am too. So I would need for Secretary Willis to rescind her motion, her second in support of that, and Vice President Wall to do the same, and then we'll amend it.
I rescind my support.
I'll rescind my motion.
Okay, so now we have a new motion on the table, and please, I'll say it, Secretary Willis, but then you let me know if I got it right, since it was your original motion. Be resolved that the Board of Education approves the purchase of a new wrestling mat for OWS Middle School. The cost of the mat from EX Flex is $10,969.20, to be covered by general funds. Is there a motion?
So moved.
So moved by Vice President Wall. Any support?
Support.
Supported by Secretary Willis. Any discussion? So I do want to say that I am 100% behind this, but I can also appreciate the PTO saying that they wanted to help purchase it. I think that's really good of them to try, but we got your back. Okay, any other discussion? Motion carries. Letter F, purchase of cheerleading uniforms, exhibit number 6. Be resolved that the Board of Education approves the purchase of a new Annapolis High School cheerleading uniforms from Varsity Spirit Fashion in the amount of $4,885.00. Monies will be derived from general funds. Is there a motion?
So moved.
So moved by Secretary Windless. Any support?
Support.
Supported by Trustee Beltowski. Any discussion? Mark?
I'd just like to mention, so this is step one. We didn't have enough time to get quotes for the warm-ups that go with these, but you'll be seeing those come in front of the board as well. Okay?
Any other discussion? Vice President Wall.
Do you know what's going to happen to the old uniforms? Is there going to be are we going to keep one as through the years progress or anything like that? Or?
I'm not sure about that, but I do know they're in pretty rough shape.
That makes it even better to say this than we used to.
Yeah. So I think they probably will be put in storage, but ultimately we'll follow the policy for disposal of school property and make sure that we follow the steps of that. But we could keep one around, certainly.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Wall.
Yes.
Trustee Dyroff.
Yes.
Trustee Windless, yes. Trustee Beltowski.
Yes.
Trustee Sterlini.
Yes.
Trustee Gator.
Yes, motion carries. Letter G, Board of Education Organizational Meeting 2024. Be it resolved that the Board of Education holds its annual organizational meeting on Wednesday, January 24th, 2024. Is there a motion?
So moved.
So moved by Vice President Wall. Any support?
Support.
Supported by Secretary Windless. Any discussion? Yes, I'll go with you, Trustee Dyroff, Trustee Beltowski, and if you guys don't cover it, I'll go, then we'll go with Treasurer Sterlini. Round robin.
Okay, so January 24th is a long time to wait, in my opinion, to have our organizational meeting. It really should be as soon as possible in January, especially you just never know how the election of officers might go. There's business to be run. I understand that it was chosen based on your schedule. Personally, I don't feel that the superintendent has to be at that meeting because it is an organizational meeting. You could go back and probably look at the last 10 years of agendas and they're the same. And the work that, and the motions that need to be made, it's all organizational. There's nothing that the superintendent brings forward. And I just feel that it easily could be, especially because there's 5 Wednesdays, we could literally have a meeting on the 10th, our organizational meeting, and then have a second meeting on January 24th. So our regular meetings that month would be the 2nd and the 4th Wednesdays, but we did that on schedule in February. And it's just, I just think it's in the best interest of the district to hit the ground running each year and get that done and get on with business. So I'm recommending that we change the motion to January 10th as the organizational meeting.
Okay, so we still got a motion on the table with a new discussion point. And thank you for that. I'll go to Trustee Botowski.
I agree with everything Ms. Dyroff said.
Okay, and then Treasurer Sterlini.
So I agree the 24th is too late. But I would like, if we talked about the 17th, there was kicking around about the 17th. I guess I would like Mark's opinion about if he feels he should be here. I would like his input on that, you know, because so if he's good with us doing it without him on the 10th.
So I am very comfortable with you folks meeting on the 10th and doing the organizational piece and then moving that next meeting as part of the adoption. So I think that certainly would be fine. Okay, thank you for asking though.
My problem is the 24th. I do have another committee meeting citywide, so that date might be hard for me to miss, know that, but you guys all agreed 10th, 24th.
Okay. I believe I said I would go next, so I fully understand where you're going with getting the business on the roll, having 2 meetings for that month. I personally like the team of 8 to be there. It's a very important meeting, and I think it's good for our district to see us starting off our calendar together. Other than that, I don't feel either way. I think we can run a very efficient meeting with or without Mark. It's just my 2 cents. I would like for all of us to be there, no matter the date. Okay. Does anyone else want to have a discussion point?
I have no objection to whichever date, so I'm very flexible with that.
Okay, and Secretary Wong, no objection. So we still have a motion on the table in support for the 24th.
Oh, this one was
I see.
Oh, I can't rescind that.
Okay, so I'm hearing that both have been rescinded, and I'm still not quite understanding what date, the 10th or the 17th. Okay, Trustee Dyroff.
Can I make a motion?
Yes, you can.
Be it resolved that the Board of Education holds its organizational meeting on Wednesday, January 10th, 2024.
Okay, is there support?
So moved.
Well, she did the motion.
Oh,
she made the
support.
motion,
Sorry.
so there's support. Is there any discussion? Okay, Secretary Williams, roll call, please.
Trustee Sterling.
Yes.
Trustee Wall.
Yes.
Trustee Winless, yes. Trustee Dyroff.
Yes.
Trustee Botowski.
Yes.
Trustee Gay.
Yes, motion carries. So again, just to re-echo that, the organizational meeting will be on January 10th, 2024, and then we will communicate the time via OMA. Mark, you'll see when you get back. Okay, letter H, Citizens Advisory Committee appointments, exhibit number 7 in your packets. And so we only received 3 interest letters to be appointed to this committee, and that is why I added all 3 to be appointed by vote of the board, just to give some context to that. Okay? Be resolved that the Board of Education appoints Ms. Alyssa Howard, Ms. Elaine Krogzak, and Mr. John Zadikian to the Citizens Advisory Committee. Is there a motion?
So moved.
So moved by Secretary Winless and supported by Vice President Wall. Is there a discussion?
I have a
Treasurer Sterlini, yes.
I just lost my thought. Give me 1 second. I apologize. Oh, I don't have it.
Go right ahead.
Sorry. So I'm in favor of this. My concern is right now, this is another piece that we're adding on to Mark to have to deal with. And I know we said we want him to have someone else to help him. We don't have that yet. So I just want to make sure, like this, we aren't bogging this man down any more than he already is. So if this needs to kind of table this for him, I mean, we can vote and all that, but he needs help first. Like this, I'm very concerned. Like I don't want this another thing to be added to.
I'll defer to Mark to say his piece to that.
So thank you, Tanya. I think we can go ahead and get started. Initial meetings rolling so that we can start to brainstorm. I already have a couple of things that I really want to get to this committee, especially in the area of mental health. And also want to review what we're doing in the area of DEI. So I do appreciate that, but I think we can at least kind of do a kickoff to get things going. But thank you so much for considering that.
Okay.
Okay, any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Wall.
Yes.
Trustee Biltowski.
Yes.
Trustee Willis, yes. Trustee Dyro.
Yes.
Trustee Sterlini.
Yes.
Trustee Gator.
Yes, motion carries. And congratulations to Alyssa Howard, Elaine Krosek, and John Zadikian to be appointed tonight. And as Mark communicated, he will be in touch with you all to talk about next steps. Those next steps will look like scheduling meetings. Mark will also be responsible for appointing at least two staff persons to the committee. Okay. On to letter I, we got the agenda changed to reflect what that should read. And so letter I, Citizens Advisory Committee Liaison to the Board of Education appointment. And so I wanted to open it up to the board to see if there are any volunteers tonight to be appointed to the committee. I'm seeing the hand of Secretary Windless. Am I seeing any other hands?
We want more than one?
So yes, I think it would be a good idea to at least start with one. One, maybe two, just in case if that other person is not available for any other reason, then we got a second person to do it. But there are no rules to how many liaisons it should be. So I'll just say that. And so I saw Secretary Willis's hand raised. My hand is raised as well. So is Treasurer Sterlini. Okay. So is it time for us to market ourselves? See who should be the appointee.
Or can we do more than one appointee?
Yes, we can. But now we have three people who have reasonably volunteer. Trustee Darrow.
So our committee process right now allows for 3 board members on a committee. In this regard, with the Citizens Advisory Committee, have you considered doing that, having 3 board members? And will there be a chair? Is it going to run like the other committees? So there'll be a chair, and is that chair a board member? This is a board committee, regardless of the fact that it's a Citizen Advisory Committee. So I apologize for these late questions on this. But now that the committee is being formed, they're just kind of.
So this would be the time to have that discussion. So we can do it openly. So I'm not offended that you're bringing it up at all.
I'm fine if the 3 of you are on that committee. I have no objection to that whatsoever. I don't know how big you want the committee.
Well, we stated in the candidate interest letter anywhere from 6 to 10. Because the idea was to have 2 committees running, one for DEI, one for mental health. It was the 2 staff, 3 of us that added.
And then out of the 3 of you, one of you would be the chair of that committee?
Yes. I think it should be ran like our other committees, just to keep everything aligned, but I'm open to hearing what other people have to say. Did that complete your comment? All right, thank you. Vice President Wall.
Yeah, so I had a question because I thought I understood that with the Citizen Advisory Committee that they were going to be working with Mark.
Yep.
So that's what I meant. Do we specifically have a chair, or are they going to be working with Mark and then Mark brings up? That's why that's why I'd like to just get a little more clarification, because technically we wouldn't need a chair if those are going to be going to Mark.
And he's running the meeting?
Right, yes.
And that structure wasn't set up.
It wasn't.
So, I don't know, like, can we really go
So I think
for
we get to
this?
that first meeting and we decide that. And I didn't mean to cut you
Well,
off.
that's okay.
But I think if we get to that first meeting, that can be outlined. What do you think?
Yeah, I just wondered, because I was like, I don't think we actually truly need a chair if really Mr. Kleinhans will be the one that'll be coming to us with anything from the meeting.
And so I'll go to Trustee Biltowski and then Mark, if you have any comments.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that when we first brought this up to do this, that is how it was going to be set up, that Mark was going to be running the meetings and that we board members were just liaisons, not committee chairs.
That's true.
Gotcha. Okay.
Because one of the community members could be a chair, right? It's not.
We didn't discuss
We didn't
it
talk
as
about
having
it.
a
And
chair.
that's why
I
I'm
thought
saying
that
we could, I guess.
that
is
Mark
what
was
the
just
committee
going to be running them. And then,
if that was the case, we'd only need one board member, is that what you're thinking?
no, I think
As a
two, I think two board members as liaison is plenty.
I agree. I agree. And I have no objections to Mark running the meeting. I just think the committee needs a point of contact.
And
Somebody
I
to
apologize
facilitate.
for bringing, I didn't mean to stir the pot, I just wanted a little clarification on how this committee's going to run and what the structure is. They're gonna probably wanna know too.
Yep.
Yep, and so I certainly have no problem chairing this meeting,
Chairing the meeting.
meetings.
Okay, sounds good.
And I would say, because based upon maybe when the meetings are, if there was 3 people from the board, I'd have no objection because they're not doing any voting, as in the board. So I would have no objection if there's 3 liaisons for that.
Okay, so I'm hearing no objections to having 3 liaisons. If I'm hearing that correctly?
How do you guys feel about it?
Yeah, for those who haven't spoken.
I'm fine with it, only because if we have meetings, if someone can't be there, there's could be one, right?
Yep.
Because it feels like sometimes we're going down, things take too long because we have to have so many people. This way, we can at least have somebody there.
Yep. Trustee Bilkowski?
Can I make a motion?
Yes.
Be it resolved that the Board of Education appoints Tanya Sterlini, Latanya Gator, and Leslie Winless as liaisons for the Citizens Advisory Committee.
All right, so motion on the table from Trustee Bilkowski. Is there support?
Support.
Supported by Vice President Wall. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Wall?
Yes.
Trustee Botowski?
Yes.
Trustee Winless, yes. Trustee Dyrov?
Yes.
Trustee Sterlini?
Yes.
Trustee Gator?
Yes, motion carries, and thank you to the board for that healthy discussion. Letter J, appointment of PAC representative, exhibit number 8 in the packet. Be resolved as the Board of Education appoints Mrs. Barbara Young as a 2023-24 Dearborn Heights School District number 7 Wayne Risa PAC representative. Is there a motion?
So moved.
So moved by Trustee Bilkowski, supported by Vice President Wall. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Winless, yes. Trustee Botowski?
Yes.
Trustee Wall?
Yes.
Trustee Sterlini?
Yes.
Trustee Dyrov?
Yes.
Trustee Gator?
Yes, motion carries, and congratulations to Mrs. Young on that appointment. On to unfinished business, discussion of securing a second law firm to represent Dearborn Heights School District number 7. So this was originally brought to the board by Secretary Winless, and then because we have a new board member, that board member asked me, can we put this on the agenda to have a healthy discussion about the reason behind it? So if it is okay with you, Secretary Winless, since it was initially your introduction to the board, if you want. If you do not, it's okay. I just also want to let the board know that I did my research. I contacted MASB, Brad Manassick, and he told me the process. It's RFP examples, because it does have to be done in an RFP. And then he also sent me a list of law firms that could be entertained. So I'd be happy to send that to the board, but again, I wanted to have this discussion first. Okay? Secretary Winless, if you will.
And normally I would, but I remember a conversation with the current law firm where he asked us to refrain from doing this
Okay,
in open session.
I got you.
So that's why I'm not supposed to.
Okay, yes, because it could be, maybe, I don't want to talk too much either, but that was a conversation.
He did ask me not to.
But there is, I guess,
state why I wanted the second law firm. So I guess it will have to refer to the motion I made at the May 17th meeting.
I see. If I could speak, I guess I can give some context to that, and I'm sure Mandy could too, because she was the former president. In the past, we've always had the 2 law firms. One would handle negotiations, other would handle other legal matters. And from what I can remember, Bruce Lilly's law firm retired, and that's why we just continue with how to apply how to do everything. So I just wanted to give that context to the board. Okay, Trustee Dyrov.
I'm not sure that I agree with Jeremy's recommendation not to say what you're thinking, and why that would even fall in a closed session conversation. So I'm not sure why you wouldn't say it in open
closed session.
No, I'm saying
You told me.
Point of order. I
Yeah.
just want to give.
Yeah, I'm just saying, my
Go ahead.
point is, if you can't say it here, then where can you say it? So I do think you can say whatever it is you're thinking, but I guess my whole thing is the full board unhappy with Collins and Blaha? Because in my time with them, years, I'm not unhappy with them. And if you are gonna go out for a second law firm, are you gonna make it specific? Because if you don't make it specific duties and it's a free-for-all, then how does the superintendent decide what attorney they contact? How does the board president decide what attorney they contact? What is the purpose of a second law firm unless it's like we had it before with something specific duties, such as labor relations? You know, if you want to do that, because your RFP is going to need to be specific. People are going to want to know, and keep in mind you're going to have two conflicting law attorneys that we have, so you kind of do need to make it specific duties. So I am interested in what everyone is thinking and the whys to this.
Okay, and so if the board would like to do that, of course, that is your choice, and I'll start with Treasurer Sterlini.
I think the point of it was to have doing two different tasks so they weren't stumbling over each other. I understand what you're saying. Like we had it before. Someone handles this, someone handles that. Because it seems like maybe what we're using now, they're too bogged down in our stuff, that things aren't getting moved as quickly as, at least I feel, maybe need to go. As far as the reasoning, am I happy with our law firm? I will say no. Not from the things that I've seen. I'm not very happy. But I'm for it too, for sure.
Okay. If I can continue to go around, if you will.
Sure. So I've been here when there was the two lawyers, and the other lawyer was strictly labor relations, and the other lawyer was for all other services. And as Trustee Dyroff mentioned, it would be hard if like something comes up and then Mr. Klein has to figure out, wait, who am I going to talk to get the right answers in that? So I do see having one law firm is typically, in my eyes, is typically better because, you know, even if one particular lawyer that we may work with, if they don't have labor relations, at least with the law firm that would have something with labor relations. So I'm comfortable with having just one law firm, and I don't see, I don't feel a necessary change right now is needed.
Okay. I will go next. So I too was a part of the board at the time that we had two law firms. I don't recall any issues with that. But in my time as president, I have been satisfied with the services from Collins and Blaha. What I will say is at times I hadn't been too happy with the response time. But I've learned just from checking with other sources that is pretty common with a law firm who's doing a lot of work and having a lot of cases. So I'm happy with keeping the one. Secretary Lewis?
Yes, my note, so I feel like we need two based on my experiences with Collins and Blaha. I feel like we need another law firm. I can forward you what I've sent to other people, or we can have a conversation offline. So again, but I don't know why I was told I can't speak, but yeah.
Okay, and again, it's not an action item today.
No, I know.
It might be discussion, so the board president can know how to direct it. If we are gonna, it will be an action on the organizational meeting. All right, Trustee Biltowski, if you will.
I'm going to refrain because I don't know if what I'm about to say could be taken the wrong way, or I believe what he said to Trustees Windlass, Secretary Windlass, had something to do along the lines with his personal character, and so I'm just going to not say anything.
Okay.
I will say that I appreciated Mr. Collins, the senior partner who came to one of our meetings. I appreciated him a lot.
All right, thank you. And I'll circle back to Tyra.
Yes, so like I said, I'm not in favor of this, and I do think that you will find that it doesn't matter what law firm you go with, there's gonna be a way. There's just work to be done and things to be investigated, and it all takes time. And I also want to say that our attorneys do what is asked of them, and only that. You know, so when you're disappointed, I think you need to remember that they're doing what is asked of them, and they're not going to dig in and do things that you didn't ask them to do. So I do just want to say again that if this is going to take place, it would be at the organizational meeting. We really should, at some point, do a motion to even move forward with this, not just show up at the meeting with two firms, because that's what this discussion is about.
Well, no, that wasn't what I was implying. I was saying if we do decide that vote would take place, but of course, between now and the organizational meeting, it could be on the agenda item. But I wanted to get a very clear sense of what direction the full board wanted to go in, so at that organizational meeting, it could be clear and concise. Okay, and then of course, we don't have Nadia here, which may be a factor too. Secretary Lynn.
Yeah, so that's one thing I was just about to bring. That's one thing I was about to bring up. But the other thing is that we already did vote on this, and there's been no movement. So when I brought it back up under unfinished business, no disrespect to Trustee Nyroff, it wasn't for us to do a revote of what we did. It was for us to have action on the vote that already passed at this table.
It was consensus.
It was consensus to get information on it and what it would be.
There's actually no.
It was consensus. And
Okay,
and then that was a lag as well.
Yeah, because then we were told that we had to go through Collins and Blaha to be able to get a second law firm. Like, they had to start the process, they had to run the process. And so apparently, like, supposedly this whole time we've been waiting on that, and now there's a new process through MASB. So that was the whole reason why, I brought it back up, is because this whole time we've been waiting on Collins and Blaha to come back with steps on how to get the second law firm.
And to date, they have not, just to put that on record. And that's why I contacted MASB.
Which is another example.
So what I will do is, because it seems that we are still torn on this item, we can put it on the December 6th board meeting agenda to put it to a vote. Okay?
I have another comment.
Yes.
Sorry. So, my issue with them wasn't just their lag time. I understand lag time. I work with attorneys every day. Unfortunately, I know their lag time. It was a matter of, I don't feel we're steered the appropriate way with their help. I feel things could be steered differently, and I don't feel that's happening. So I'm not happy with that.
Okay.
Can I ask a clarifying
And then,
question?
and then if it's okay with the board, we'll make that last, and then we'll move forward, since we at least know what direction we need to move in. Okay.
Well, the important piece that I'm really missing in this is, how do you see that working then? Okay, so you're not happy with Collins and Blaha and their time frame and in moving things forward. So an issue comes up, whatever it might be. So who do you see making the decision on which attorney? If you're not going to take an attorney and say, okay, you're our new attorney and here are your duties, or are you saying that the superintendent gets to decide, or the board president gets to decide what attorney they use? Or are you saying that we get a different attorney and that's who we start using from now on? I just want everyone to say exactly what they're saying.
No, I get you. I
Thank
think
you.
we're kind of maybe stuck that we have to stick with them for a minute. Because really, I would personally like to switch them all together. But I don't think we have that choice for the moment. But if that's the case, we don't have a choice and we're stuck where we're at, then we need to. I think we give here specific details. Here's what you're going to work on, and Collins Blaha is going to work on this or work on that. Am I clear? They each have their specific duties, so they're not stepping on each other's toes. But, and I would agree with Mary Beth, I liked the other,
You know, because.
but it worked before, how did it work before?
Because
Two
they
attorneys.
have just labor relations.
Well, there you go, then just labor relations does that.
So you are saying that you would entertain two with specific assignments?
Just like before.
But if they
absolutely.
weren't in contract with us, you would say it's over for them?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So again, I am understanding all of this, and it'll be an agenda item for our next meeting. To give Nadia also some time to chime in and do her research. Okay, on to new business, MASB board self-assessment. So it was recommended to us, I believe, by Scott Morrell, and I think in some other trainings, that as a board, it's important to assess ourselves as a board to see how we're doing in terms of are we forming or norming and where we are. And I think it's a good idea if we do this now, because come January, we may have a new structure, right? And I think it's important for us to evaluate ourselves to see how we did through the year, to see what were strengths and weaknesses so we can move forward at the top of the year. So I did some research, I reached out to MASB. There is a free board self-assessment, but the catch is whoever starts it, the other board members have 4 weeks to complete it, and then MASB sends an evaluation and a report. So again, this is my recommendation that we all do this, and that I would like for us to do this by December 6th, so we can possibly talk about it before the year is out, and then we can have a clear direction on what direction we want to move in as a board come January. Trustee Darrell?
Is it confidential?
No.
So whatever I say about, well, how I think things were, might have gone, everyone gets to see that I know what said that.
Well,
I just think we all ought to be open.
I mean, if we all bring the assessments to the table, of course you can package it in a way that is to the point, but again, that is your question. Yes, I guess you could do it publicly. I would not want to personally disparage people individually, but if a person wants to say the agendas need to be different moving forward, then so be it. If a person wants to say everybody respected each other, so be it. But it's not an individual nitpicking of each person, it's how we did as a full board.
Okay. Well, I guess I won't be able to say too much. I've only been here a few meetings.
Understood.
But that won't stop me.
I don't expect it to be any other way. We have a very vocal board, so I would imagine we can come up with a lot of data material from this.
So explain to me again. So you're gonna do the assessment. You're gonna send it to the rest of us.
So there is a link that I would send to everyone. Whoever gets it started first, the rest of the board has to get it done within 4 weeks. Once it's all completed, they have a week turnaround to get the reports out.
And then it's compiled and brought, and you'll bring it to the meeting.
That's correct.
So you want us to complete the assessment by December 6th, and then we would have it for the following December.
That would be
board
my
meeting.
aspiration if everybody was on board. Any other thoughts about that? Is anybody like, no, this sucks, we shouldn't do this, or is anybody in favor? Vice President Wall?
So I thought when that information gets sent, do they have somebody who comes out and presents the information?
No, so that is at a charge. Anything extra outside of us doing it ourselves and then releasing the report to us, that is free. Anything outside of that is a charge, and I believe they said it's $825 with a $100 reimbursement because we're members.
And basically, couldn't we do the assessment, read it, and move on with life?
That's what I said.
You
I
know,
think we
doesn't
can
really
handle
have
this
to come to a
ourselves.
board meeting?
That's what I recommend. We don't need per.
That's what I'm asking. Because what's your end goal? What's your end goal? So we're all gonna complete this. I'm gonna sit home and I'm gonna read this. And then you're gonna bring it to a meeting, and then maybe I won't say a word at the meeting. You know what I mean? What
You
is
should
your
say
end?
a word.
What is your end goal? Is your end goal to have a discussion?
Yeah, and so
It is.
I think I said that clearly. If I didn't, I apologize. It's for us to understand what our strengths and weaknesses were now that we're at the end of the year, and so we can have direction moving forward in January. It's goal setting.
Well,
It's an evaluation.
It is.
yes.
And we should be
End of
doing
year
that
evaluation.
for ourselves, per recommendation of the MASB.
I'm good with it.
reading nonverbals. I am open to hearing what this should be or should not be. Again, I have thick skin. We don't want to assess ourselves?
I think to do this by December 6th is just,
It's a heavy lift.
yes.
Okay. So you are okay with doing it, but extend it out? Have it done in January?
I think just
There's a
the
second
one
meeting.
that they give, like have the first person do it and then let the most timer start.
Meet the 4-week deadline. Can everyone commit to that?
What did you say? I didn't hear what you said.
To let the first person start the assessment and then let the 4-week timer be whatever the 4-week timer is.
Is shooting for the second meeting in December?
Whatever
or
the
it
4
doesn't matter?
week is, yeah.
Whatever the 4-week timer is when the first person does it.
And I'm okay with it. I just want consensus or not.
Because like you said, Mandy, even if we, for some reason, the 4 weeks starts and we miss both December meetings, it's not something that has to come to an agenda. It's something that's, we can all read. And if you wanted to call us individually, like if for some reason we didn't make the second meeting in December and you wanted to call us individually, I think you can still get what you're looking for.
Valid point. Valid point. Okay, so I'm hearing a bunch of yeses.
Yeah, and I'm for anything that, just helps build the board. Because I remember Secretary Windless, Title V, sorry. Secretary Windless, when you brought up about one of the, the disc training. And I was like, anything that can help the board get along and, work together is cool. Sure there'll be some, objections to that, but the better we work together, then directly down the line, it will help our students.
Okay. District points of pride.
Yeah, so let's take this opportunity. Officer Burdan, can I have you stand up? This is Max. Stand up, please. Welcome, Max. He is our SRO officer for the school district. He's been out and about, been involved in not just dealing with issues, but just being out there. And I really appreciate it. I know our administrators appreciate the support. We've been working on trying to develop a safety program, and Max has volunteered to put together a little curriculum to come into the classrooms, talk about safe routes, talk about bicycle safety, talk about those types of things. So, Max, I'm glad you're here. I just wanted to introduce you so the board has a name with a face. Welcome. Okay, then a couple other things. So I just made some notes about some of the good things that's going on in our district. Meeting with Mr. Armstrong, we've been meeting quite a bit. He has indicated that he's very pleased. He's been out and about, which I think is excellent. He's been in the classrooms, he's been visiting our special education classrooms. I asked him, I said, well, what are you seeing? He said, I'm seeing some good things. I'm very pleased to see the staff in action and happy to see the progress that the students are making in the classroom. So happy that Scott is here out and about and working with our staff already. And we'll be bringing, in this short amount of time, we'll be bringing 2 new hires, direct hires, to the district, a resource room, and he has one other one that we'll have on a board agenda. So he's been real busy, but I'm very pleased that he's out and about because I believe that that's really important. He also indicated that we've received an email from Wayne Risa. They had a countywide special education administrative assistance meeting. They're switching some things in MyStar, which is our student software program, and how we report in working with our special education students. And he got an email about Miss Leslie Davis, who is our special education admin assistant, about how she was very helpful. She's on top of her game at this meeting and helping others, and just a really nice email from Wayne Risa in regards to Leslie, so I want to put that out there. Just a couple of things that are going on. There's at the high school, talking to Mr. Millette, he's going to be busy next week. A local family has donated turkey and turkey dinners, and he assists in getting those out. And I thought, man, what a great support for our families, for our school district. And so he's going to be busy doing that. I saw him today, he was talking about that. He's also very excited to welcome our new high school assistant principal athletic director, Mr. Brian Buchanan. His first day's on the 20th, so happy to get him aboard. Middle school parent-teacher conferences went very well. The student council is doing a Gleaners food drive in their NP Squared and there's a competition, so we'll see over here with some of our middle school teachers who's winning. Yeah, so I'm pretty excited to get that done. They're very happy with the transition the sixth graders are making to the middle school, and the cheer and the basketball are off to a great start. In the elementary buildings, I've never heard of this, so I gotta take this in, but they're holding the Charlie Brown Thanksgivings, where they do jelly beans, toast, and popcorn with their students. And pretzels, don't forget the pretzels. It's a celebration, and they have different grade levels involved, so I just thought that I would mention that. I've heard of a Charlie Brown Christmas, but so very kind of. November 16th, tomorrow is a parent-teacher conferences for the high school, and we've got a Friendsgiving event coming up this weekend. I believe that's here, and that's from 4 to 6, is that correct? Yep, here in the cafeteria. November 22nd, of course, is a half day, and then the 23rd and 24th is Turkey Day. And then moving forward, December 13th, the half day students for professional development. Dr. Finney has the PD plans set up, and so we're putting the finishing touches on that. And I just want to take a minute to wish all of our staff and students a happy Thanksgiving, and thanks to all who's doing everything to support our students, our board, our staff, and our community. So thank you.
Alrighty, on to public comment number 2. Good evening and welcome. Is there any public comment to come before the board?
Oh,
You got it.
hi.
Hey.
Hey. Heather Sanders, 1440 May Street. I'm gonna try not to cough, but I'm not feeling that great, as I'm sure you've heard me the whole time. First, I wanted to say the wrestling mats. Thank you. I was at OW West on the PTO for the past 8 years. This is the first year I've not been on their PTO in what seems like a lifetime. That was a long time coming. We have been saving money. We have been pricing them. Just thank you. Like, we were offering to pay for, I'm not there anymore, but when I was there, we were offering to pay because like the need was so bad. I don't know if you've ever seen our wrestling mats, but they were embarrassing. So I can't thank you guys enough. I know the PTO there is gonna be so thankful that you guys covered the full cost for that, and that the game day chairs, that was another thing on our wish list. So that frees up more money. The game day chairs actually went up quite a bit from when we priced them last year, like a lot. So that really helps out the PTO, and I just wanted to say thank you for that. I had one question, and it was about the math presentation that we did. Just one small question was, I know when they were talking about the online version, or how the kids in the family could do that, it said that one was in English and then one was in English and Spanish. I didn't know if they had an Arabic option, because I feel like that would be a really big need in our district. So there was that. And then last, I just wanted to touch on this agenda, because you can clearly tell from this agenda and then from like the last agenda that when people come up here to talk, that you all are listening. I absolutely love this new board, and I say new because Mandy just got here. Like, even though some of you have been here for a while, this right now is a new board, and I feel like leadership with Mark, I think you guys are awesome. I'm so happy to see everybody come together, make great decisions, and you can tell that when people come up here to speak, it's being addressed on the following agenda for the next meeting, which makes me feel like we're being heard and things are getting done, where in the past we might not have felt that way. So I really love that, and I appreciate that. But with that being said, I would like to know when we can go back to audience participation instead of public comment. Historically, we've always had what was called audience participation. We could come up here, we could ask a question, we could get an answer, or we could not get an answer. And we were all okay with that because we're grown-ups. So if I say, you know, to President Gator or to Mark and say, hey, you know, what about the floats, which is something I asked about. And Mark could very well look at me and say, I don't know, Heather, but I will get back to you when I figure that out. I would have all I would know that he's going to get back to me and he's going to figure it out, and I would be fine with that. I would say, thank you, Mark, and I would sit down and I would know that he's going to do that. And the same with the board that we have right now. I really think that we feel heard because we see it on the agenda and we see, but I think giving us the common courtesy to just acknowledge us. And when we have new people that come to meetings, like the family that lived behind the field, they had never been to a meeting before. And so they had no idea in the world, no one was gonna respond to them. So they come up here and they say everything they wanna say, and then they stand here looking at all of you guys until somebody in the audience whispers they can't talk to you or they're gonna do this. I just don't think that we don't need to be treated like middle or like kindergartners, honestly. Just tell us you can't say something. If somebody comes up here and asks about a personnel issue or when is so-and-so coming back or is he not ever coming back, I think we're all grown-ups enough to say we can't discuss that with you. At this time, if we get information on that, we will definitely let the community know. I would just like to see that go back. We all know my audience participation was changed, and that's because we had leadership and board members that didn't want to be held accountable, nor did they want to answer for the wrongdoings that they were doing, and we don't have that now. So I hope that you guys can talk amongst yourselves at some point and make that happen. And last, I want to say, I don't always write the most legible, and because I'm so used to people knowing my email address, I did get my response, and when I came up and said I didn't, because my email was wrong with Susan. So I did get that. I just wanted to point that out. I just didn't receive it, but it was definitely sent. Thank you, guys.
All right, thank you for your public comment. Is there any other public comments come before the board? Any other public comments come before the board? Last call, any other public comments come before the board? Okay, thank you again. On to other business, board committee updates. There aren't any updates for any committees at this time unless I'm missing anything. Does any chair of the committees have anything? Think not, okay. Upcoming board committee meetings. No bond committee meeting scheduled at this time. The building and site committee met today. Very productive meeting. I'll be sure to produce those minutes at our next regular board meeting. And just to put this out there, the next meeting date is to be determined, just to get that on everyone's books. No finance committee meeting scheduled. No policy committee. Ooh, thank you. Stand corrected.
Yes, we're having a policy meeting on December 6th.
You did say that.
And on the sign it sees 37 number ones and 37 number twos. And it is going to be at 5:30 on December 6th. And that is because those policies were reviewed in 2022 by the previous committee and the previous board, and then the spring ones a couple of times. So anyway, we felt after reviewing those, that those policies are ready, they were checked. You know, the committee, whoever had checked on those, and they're ready to come to the board for the first reading. And I feel like there's nothing controversial that will be a huge discussion, but you'll get hard copies of your agenda of those. So review those for the first reading, December 6th, second reading, whatever that second meeting is in December. And then on December 6th, one of the things we'll be doing is reviewing the 38 with the alternate. So.
Okay, and so just to re-echo that, we do have a policy committee meeting coming up on December 6th, 5:30 p.m. At what location?
Board office.
At the board office. Thank you for that, Trustee Barrow. And there are no technology committee meetings scheduled. Meetings, dates, times, and locations are subject to change, and updates will be announced via district website and social media. So the only other business matter that I want to say is that yes, Derek Wall went to a training recently. He communicated to me that that update is not available yet. We still have it ready at December 6th meeting.
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you for letting me go. It was, I know when I did it 2 years ago, I said I'm not taking the 6 to 9 p.m. class, but I still did it every single time it was offered. So, because I want to do the best for our school district. So. Just with that, I was very tired coming home Sunday, and then it was too quick to put everything together. So So thank you for your patience.
All right, any other business to come before the board? Trustee Dyroff, Secretary Willis.
You mentioned the DISC training, and so that kind of brought to mind that we had put that on hold. I had kind of recommended doing that.
You did.
But I'm wondering when maybe in January, we can revisit that and talk about that at that time.
Yeah, that was our plan, if I remember correctly. We wanted to get through some other pressing issues, bring it back fresh, but it was already board approved.
Okay, just as long as we don't lose track.
Yep. All right, is that it for you?
That was it for me.
All right, Secretary Willis.
Mine was for communications. It was just a card from somebody who retired, so saying thank you for like the watch and what you said at the meeting. So I didn't know we were supposed to read the response to.
Very nice to be able to do that. Unless the board objects, we can go ahead and read the cards. Okay. Thank you, Secretary Willis. So it is addressed to the school board. I'll try my best to read it. It's in cursive. Dear District 7 School Board, thank you kindly for the lovely watch. I appreciate you recognizing my 22 years in the district. I enjoyed my years as a gen ed and special ed teacher, working with some amazing colleagues and students. Keep moving forward. Keep D7 the gem that it always has been, fondly and Showcase. All right, thank you for that.
And then my next one was just the student ambassadors. I had emailed about them, we missed them, and so I just wanted to know if it was an update. Oh, I know I got an update, but I wanted an official update on the at the board table.
I'll defer to Mark.
Yeah, so I certainly am all for the student ambassador program. I recommend that we hold off for a bit until some things get settled. And so I think once we get things settled, then I think we move forward with that. So yeah, it's a great leadership opportunity for those students that participate. With everything going on right now, I think we just need to hold off for a bit. Okay.
Okay. Any other business? On to kudos. We had two. We'll start with Trustee Dyer.
This is to Rachel LaPointe from Ariel Brown and Tina Donnie for the alteration of one of our cheerleading uniforms. Truly, this was a random act of kindness. Number one, not everyone can sew, let alone make an alteration. We greatly appreciate your help on this. Again, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to make time for one of the students' needs. Thanks again.
All right, thank you for that. And then Treasurer Sterling.
So this is to Karen Kaufman from Ariel Brown, dated 11/14, for setting up, managing, and coordinating our scholastic book fair. I know that this is no easy feat, and I truly appreciate your commitment to our students and their literacy. The book fair was nothing short of awesome. Thank you again for making it possible and a success as well. Karen, you are truly a gem and a wonderful colleague. Thanks again for your commitment to D7, our students and staff.
All right, any other kudos from the board? Trustee Belkowski.
I have a kudos for all of the elementary school teachers. As a teacher who just went through parent-teacher conferences myself last week, I just want to give a shout out to all the elementary school teachers who survived parent-teacher conferences, and to the high school teachers and middle school teachers. Good luck to your upcoming conferences.
All right, any other kudos from the board? Hearing and seeing none. On to adjournment. I would need a motion to adjourn at 8:43 p.m.
So moved.
So moved by Secretary Windlass. Any support? Support. Supported by Trustee Belkowski. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Windlass, yes. Trustee Darrow?
Yes.
Trustee Belkowski?
Yes.
Trustee Sterlini?
Yes.
Trustee Wall?
Yes.
Trustee Gator?
Yes, motion carries. Again, happy holidays to you all, and have a good night. Thank you. You should have said that. There's no time. You will make the record.
Make the